And I hope that this isn't one of those situations, and I don't want to.
She looked her friend dead in the eye and said, and I quote, "I don't think we should be getting married realistically." Not to Josh, not in a fight, to a friend, calm as anything. Weeks after he watched her try to kiss 3 different guys, at her own birthday party, and the wild part? Deadpan. She said it, and then she said they're still doing it anyway. We are getting into all of that today. But first, hi, welcome back. Let's talk about Catie and Josh. Rushed. So if you're new to this couple, quick catch up. Josh moved from the UK to Portland to be with Catie after a proposal on a beach in Turkey that honestly looked like something out of a movie. Sweet start. But Catie has been upfront from day one about something that's now basically the defining storyline of her season. When she drinks, she wants to make out with everyone she knows. Her words, not mine. She's connected it to OCD, intrusive thoughts, the whole thing. And look, we're going to treat that part seriously, because a real disclosed condition is not a punchline, and I'm not going to make it one today. But what happens after that disclosure, what Josh has had to sit through, what she said to her friend weeks later, that's the part we need to actually unpack. Because by the end of this, you're going to have a much harder time deciding who you're rooting for. Let's go back a little further first, because the cracks were showing before the party ever happened. There was this whole apartment shopping trip that on the surface was about furniture, but really wasn't about furniture at all. Josh wants a dining table, basic stuff, something to sit on that isn't the floor. Catie shuts it down, calls it not important, at one point basically calls the idea stupid. And when he pushes back, she says the actual thing underneath all of it. She doesn't fully trust him with money yet, not because he's done anything reckless, just things she disagrees with. Josh's reaction to that was so telling, because he didn't blow up. He just said, quietly, "I feel like you're treating me like I'm a bit stupid." Pause. That's not a furniture problem, that's a foundation problem, and it's the kind of thing that gets buried under bigger drama. But I promise you it matters, because it tells you these two were already misaligned on trust before the birthday party even happened. Keep that in your back pocket, because it's going to come back around. Okay, so, the birthday party. This is the moment everyone's been arguing about for weeks, and if you haven't seen it, buckle up. Catie's celebrating at a bar with her friends, and her friend Ryan shows up. Now, Ryan is not just some random guy. Ryan is someone she's made out with multiple times in the past, well, after she and Josh were already together. Josh had actually told Ryan to get out of his life at one point, so the fact that he's even at this party is already a lot. There's an awkward little apology moment where Ryan tells Josh that some of what happened between him and Catie in the past was, quote, inappropriate. Josh accepts it, but you can already see it on his face, like, here we go again. And then the night just unravels. Catie starts drinking more, and she turns to Josh at one point and asks him, straight up, "Can I kiss everyone I know?" He says no. She says okay. And then she does the opposite of okay. She goes and leans on one of her male friends, arms around him, asking if they can kiss. He pulls away. She moves to another friend, this one named Mark, and this is the part that genuinely made people online lose it, because Mark has to physically put his hand up to her face to stop her from kissing him. Not once, repeatedly. He's telling her, you're in a committed relationship, and she is not hearing it. She is fully in what she herself later calls crazy mode. And then she goes back to Ryan, wraps her arms around his neck, leans in for a kiss. He pulls away again, tells her she's being crazy, and she actually agrees with him in the moment and still keeps going. The entire time, Josh is standing there watching this happen to his own fiancé in real time. And eventually, he just puts his coat on and walks out of the bar, and you hear him mutter to himself, "This is bull." That's it. That's all he says. And honestly, that restraint says more than yelling ever could have. Now here's where it gets even more uncomfortable, because the next day, Catie doesn't really remember most of it. She tells Josh she blacked out. And Josh, to his credit, doesn't scream at her. He just lays it all out, calmly, and says something that I think is the actual thesis of this entire storyline. He tells her that the apologies are starting to lose their meaning, because this isn't new. This has happened before. And when you've heard the same sorry enough times for the same thing, at some point the word stops meaning anything. So Josh asks her directly, "What is going through your head when you have a partner who loves you and you love them, and then you have a few drinks and you want to make out with someone else?" And Catie's answer is honestly one of the most unfiltered things I've heard on this show in a while. She says, "I think I can love you, but also want to kiss everyone else." Just says it. No spin, no excuse. Just the truth as she understands it about herself in that moment. And then Josh points out something she can't really argue with. He tells her, "Most of the people you're trying to kiss don't even want to kiss you back." And she tries to say something about not wanting to cross their boundaries. And he comes right back with, "But you're crossing mine. That line right there. That's the whole argument in one sentence." Catie starts spiraling a little after that, worried her friends are going to abandon her, worried Josh is going to abandon her. She admits, genuinely tearfully, that she's lost friends before because of things she's done while drinking. She says she's ashamed of it, that it's hard to even talk about, and she says the quiet part out loud. Whispers, "I want to feel wanted." That's reportedly the actual root of it, at least by her own account. Not chaos for chaos's sake, a fear of not mattering enough. And look, I'm not a therapist, and neither is Josh, but you can feel in that moment that there's something real and painful underneath the behavior, even if the behavior itself is still hurting the person standing in front of her. Josh's response to all of that is honestly more patient than I think a lot of us would manage. He tells her he wants to see serious thought from her about what marriage actually means, that he wants to feel the commitment reflected back at him, and that it's on her to figure out how to show that. Not an ultimatum, not a walkout, just, "I need to see something change." So that's where things stood. And this is usually the part of the story where a couple either fixes it or blows up publicly. Instead, something quieter and honestly more revealing happened. Weeks later, in a conversation with, of all people, Ryan. Catie says something that stopped a lot of viewers in their tracks. She tells him, "I don't think we should be getting married, realistically. Not in anger, not as a threat, as what sounds like an honest assessment." And then, almost in the same breath, she adds that if they want to start a life together, they kind of have to get married anyway. Dramatic tone. Sit with that for a second. That is not "I'm scared" or "I need more time." That is a direct statement that the marriage itself might be a mistake, followed immediately by deciding to do it anyway because of logistics. Visa logistics, life-building logistics, whatever you want to call it. And she said this to Ryan. The same Ryan she's kissed before. The same Ryan Josh already had to make peace with existing in her life at all. And here's the thing that I think gets missed in all the noise about this couple. Josh has clearly seen the comments. He put out his own video responding to people telling him to run, and he said something that actually made me respect him a little more, even while I still think he deserves better than what he's getting. He said he understands why people are worried. He appreciates that people care, but if he gets one more comment just telling him to run, he's going to lose his mind. Sighs. That's a man who knows exactly what everyone thinks, and is choosing to stay anyway, at least for now. So where does that leave us? You've got someone who has been honest, maybe too honest, about a real struggle she's having, who is also actively hurting her partner with the exact same behavior, over and over, and who just told another man that the marriage she's planning probably shouldn't happen. And you've got a partner who has been remarkably calm through all of it, who keeps drawing the line, and keeps watching it get crossed anyway. I don't think this is really a story about whether OCD is real or whether it's an excuse. I think that's actually the wrong argument to be having. The real question is simpler than that. If someone tells you in their own words that the two of you probably shouldn't get married, do you listen to them or do you keep planning the wedding anyway and hope the feeling passes? Because right now, it looks like Josh is doing the second one, and Catie already told us how she actually feels. So here's my actual take. I don't think Catie is a villain here. I think she's someone dealing with something real that she hasn't fully gotten a handle on yet, and I think that deserves some compassion. But I also don't think Josh should have to keep absorbing the consequences of that while planning a wedding that the person he's marrying just said, out loud, probably shouldn't happen. Those two things can both be true at the same time. I want to know what you think. Do you think Josh should stay through this? Or was that comment to Ryan the sign he needed to walk away? Tell me in the comments, because this fan base has genuinely split down the middle on this one, and I want to see where you land. And if you want to see how this measures up against some of the other messiest couples this season, I've got another video breaking that down, so go check it out next. If this kept you hooked, hit subscribe. I've got more of these coming all week. I'll see you in the next one.